Rose Wangari.
Hello, how is everyone? I hope that we are good. Wow, it's been such a long time. That is 2 weeks ago. Yes, that's when we had a video on how to deal with gossipers, and I hope that we keep on learning. Welcome, this is Holistic Therapy. I've really missed you. I have also really missed myself, and I'm so happy to be back. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, kindly do so. Subscribe, like, comment. This is a safe community, and as I usually tell you, I have a master's in counseling psychology from the University of Nairobi, and my offices are in Rafiki House, that is Thika Town. So if you need one-on-one counseling, you can see me there. Thank you so much for those who are giving me referrals. You have kept me so busy, and that's incredible. So today I want us to look at a very kind of interesting but a very important topic, on who should come first between your spouse and your children. So between you and the children that you have, who should come first? And I know our children, they didn't tell us to give birth to them, and so sometimes we wonder, should I keep my spouse before my child, or what should happen? So today, that is what I want us to talk about. And sometimes it may seem like putting your kids first, it is the best thing for you to do, because using common sense, you are thinking like, my spouse is a grown-up, they don't need attention, you know. So today I want us to learn several things. You know, when you teach your children that your spouse comes last, when you teach your children that they have the ability to come in between you and your spouse, you give them a ground whereby they know they can mess up with both of you, you know. So on the other hand, if you learn how to prioritize your relationship with your spouse, because you know, basically our kids learn how to treat their spouses through how they see us treat one another. So the kids that you are bringing up, they will learn the best way to treat the people they will marry, the people who get married to them, by what they see. You know, they say, man can see, man can do. So if you disrespect, if you dishonor, if you ignore your spouse because you are giving your kids the first priority, you are teaching them that your spouse is an option. I am not saying that you abandon your children. No, what I'm saying is, when you make your decisions, and you are making the decisions about your family, who should come first in your mind? It is your spouse, because when you place your spouse, you know, when your spouse feels more loved and more appreciated, even your kids will feel safe, you know, because apart from feeding your children and giving them kavagara and all that, and taking them to good schools, you know, there is that self-esteem. There is that stability that comes about when you learn that your family is safe. You know, when you know that my mom loves my daddy, even when that kid is in boarding school, they know that I know. Because nowadays, especially when there is a lot of violence, they know when I go home, I won't find my mom unsafe. I won't find that my mom and my dad have already separated, you know. So that that kid, when they know that their parents, they love each other, they have each other's back, the self-esteem of that kid is very high, you know, because they know that when you are together, you appreciate one another. So I am not saying that you ignore your children. I am just saying that you create an environment at home, an environment of love, an environment whereby you appreciate each other so much, you understand? So to an extent that your kids feel safe, your kids feel that I know my dad is okay, I know my mom is okay. Because let me tell you, even if sometimes you may not think about it, when you are struggling in your relationship with your spouse, your kids are noting, your kids are understanding. And so when they go to school, when they go wherever they are, even when they are married, one of the things you should understand is that they don't feel safe. They feel like something, they feel like the other shoe is going to fall down, you know. So you should show your children that your mom comes first. That does not mean that you take their mom to a very expensive vacation, that there is no school fees. No. Or even maybe you do things for the dad and your kids lack basic needs. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that make sure that emotionally, psychologically, you bring your spouse so close to you that your kids, you pick that and they can even be proud of that, you know. Some of us who are brought up in such an environment, you have never seen, because especially those people that I counsel with them, you can't remember the last time you saw your mom and your dad not quarreling, not throwing things, not fighting. So what I want you to understand is that the kind of environment that you create for your children, how they see you love one another, how they see you respect each other, how if they only see you shouting, you know what you are doing to their mind? You are destabilizing them. So when you learn how to love your spouse, when you learn how to appreciate them, when you learn how to talk to them calmly without shouting, you know, you are showing those children that my spouse matters. Your dad is safe with me. Your mom is safe with me. And so I want us to learn 5 reasons why you should put your spouse before your children. And I'm not saying that you don't meet the needs of your children. I am just saying that when you think of your family, before you go to the kids, whom you have made together, you should always think, and this goes either way for the for the husband and for the wife. So one thing is, what you give your attention to, that's what grows. I have heard people saying that my spouse no longer talks to me, my spouse no longer listens to me, they no longer do the stuff they used to do to me, you know. I don't think that my spouse thinks that I matter. So what do people do? They start withdrawing. But when you bring your attention to your spouse, they grow in love. And that's why you should ask yourself, before you got married, when you are dating, you can find that there's a very big difference to some of you, that the love you had then, it's already dead. And there are people, it's very unfortunate that there are people today who stay together because of their children. That were it not for your children, you should be separated. That is so much unfair, because those children, they got you together. So it means that you are giving so much attention to your children. Your children are growing towards you, but your spouse is withdrawing. So whatever you give your attention to grows. If you want to see your spouse growing in love, if you want to see your spouse glowing, if you want to see them loving you, appreciating you, respecting you, do the same. So I usually say that the grass is not greener on the other side. It is always greener where it is watered. Water your spouse, you know. And I think in the next video, we are going to learn about the 5 love languages, so that you can be able to see you love your spouse the way they should be loved, and let them grow in that manner. The other thing is that you vowed to spend your life together with your spouse and not your children. And that's why you find that, you know, after 18 years, your kids are going to move out, whether you like it or not. After 18 years, your kids will move out, and then you'll be wondering, what do you do with each other? You know? So, if you have learned how to give all your attention to your children, after 18 years, after they have gone to school, what do you do with each other? You know? And whatever you do with one another is what you should, is like, for instance, there are people who separate, Like, for instance, when your kids are out of the house, you find that you find like you are strangers because it is your kids who are bringing you together. So kuna mahali inafika, you find that because now you don't have your children whom you talk to. Do you know there are people who talk to their children when they come home and they don't talk to their spouses, which is very sad actually. So I want you to learn that your kids will be with you for 18 years, and then what will become of you when they just move out, you know? So I want you to understand that one of these days your kids are going to go away. If you don't develop a good relationship, if you and your spouse, God gives you 100 years each, and your kids are out of your lives at 18 years, just know that you will have 80 years of boring life. So I want you to understand that your kids are not here to stay, but your spouse is here to stay. So if you don't want to be left with a stranger after your kids move out, please pay attention to them. The other thing is that when you have a strong marriage, your kids, they learn that you can spend time together, you can be respectful to your spouse, and so they feel safe. You know, sometimes kids feel safe because of how you treat one another. It is not what you give them. You know, your kids can leave you fighting and you give them 5,000 or even 10,000 for pocket money, or even 100,000 if they're in college. But if they left you quarreling that morning, that kid, let me tell you, wherever they go, they won't be feeling like they are safe. So when you appreciate each other, when you take care of each other, when you put yourself, each other first, you know, your kids will feel stable. They will be feeling that I'm from a stable family, and so whatever I do out here, home is safe, you know, because every kid will have a safe home. Every kid will have a safe family. Always out there, they're like lions, you know. So if you want your kids to feel safe and you want them to feel stable, please put each other first. The other thing is that the best thing you can do for your kids, it is to love their mother or their father. So sometimes you want to love them, you want to love your kids, and then you want to neglect your spouse. So sometimes you think you are doing them a favor, but I'm telling you, if you disrespect their father, if you don't love their mother, those kids will be there. But I have met so many children who tell me, once I am done with school, I am going to take my mother out of that marriage. I am going to take my dad out of that relationship, you know, because even if they don't show you to your face, you think you are doing everything for them. But to them, they're like, no way. My mom cannot be treated like this. My dad cannot be treated like this. So if you want your kids to appreciate you and to love you, learn to love their mother, learn to love their father. In that way, they won't keep grudges that they don't talk about. The other thing is that when you put your kids first and neglect your spouse, you'll be modeling them, because at the end of the day, you are bringing up your children to become other people's spouses. That boy that you are bringing up, one day there will be someone's husband. That girl you are bringing up, one day there will be someone's wife. So whatever they see you do, that's what they do to their spouses. If you show them that your spouse doesn't matter, your work comes first, your children comes first, your friends comes first, whatever you are modeling, that is what your kids are going to pick from home. So anytime that you come home and you shout at their mother and you disrespect their father and you don't cook and you don't provide, you know, what you are doing in the life of those kids, you are showing them your spouse doesn't matter. So what I'm saying is this, sometimes there is not on between. I'm saying that you are not neglecting your children, but at the same time you are not neglecting your spouse. So don't neglect their mother, don't neglect their father, so that you can show them safety. You can make them to have high self-esteem. If you want your kids to grow with the lowest esteem, even if you are a millionaire or a billionaire, just make sure that the kind of environment they grow up in, it is not the kind of environment that is safe, that is disrespectful. So whatever you want to see, before you lecture your children that they don't love their spouses, when they come to you they are quarreling, and your daughter-in-law is telling you that maybe your son beat them, maybe your son is telling you that maybe whatever, you know, all those kinds of things. It is good to ask them, what kind of modeling did I do for my children? So at the end of the day, it is monkey see, man can do. So learn to love your spouse, learn to show them respect. And one thing I don't want you to ever forget, if you quarrel in front of your kids and you throw things in front of them and you call it other names in front of them, then when you make up and they see you laughing, I want you to also make up in front of them. Please do that, because when they see you quarrel and maybe their minds are traumatized, their minds are hurt, and then you just go make up and maybe come and laugh in front of them, they don't know whether you solved the issue. So if you quarrel in front of them, please come and make up in front of them. So I hope that you have learned something today. So learn to keep your spouse first, respect them, give them the first priority, give them everything that they need, you know, and be the best spouse that you can ever be. Because at the end of the day, marriage, the marriage relationship, especially for those people who have decided to get married, it is one of the seriousest, if there is such a word, relationship that you'll ever have. So thank you for always coming to Holistic Therapy. I love you so much. Next time I have said that you are going to learn on how you can appreciate your spouse better. I love you. Please remember to subscribe, to comment, to like. I love you. Bye.